A lot of people believe that when your legs start to feel weak, unsteady, or prone to stumbling, it's just old age catching up with you. But after more than 30 years working closely with older adults, I can tell you this. From the heart, age is not the main culprit. The real cause is a quiet, hidden deficiency of 3 essential vitamins. It silently breaks down the communication lines between your nerves and muscles. It slows your body's ability to recover from each day, and it leaves your legs more vulnerable than ever before. I've seen legs that seemed destined for a cane regain strength and walk tall again, just weeks after making 3 simple changes each night. Because sometimes healing doesn't require something dramatic, just the right support, at the right time. If you've crossed the age of 60 and every morning your legs feel stiff, slow, or heavy, even climbing a few steps leaves you drained, then I'd like you to sit with me for just a few minutes, because maybe it's not your age. Maybe your body is quietly crying out for something most of us are missing, vitamin D3. Now, I know when people hear vitamin D3, they immediately think of bones. And yes, it absolutely helps with strong bones and calcium absorption. That's true. But after more than 30 years working with people over 50, I've come to realize D3 has another role, a quieter one, but just as vital. D3 is your muscle builder while you sleep. I once had a patient. His name was Gerald, 72 years old, a retired physical education teacher. He looked me in the eye and said, "Doc, I used to run marathons. Now just 10 minutes of gardening, and my legs feel like jelly." We ran every test. His heart was fine, blood sugar normal, but one thing had completely run dry. His vitamin D3 levels were dangerously low, and Gerald's case wasn't rare. A 2020 study from Harvard University revealed something shocking. Over 70% of adults over 60 in the U.S. are deficient in vitamin D3, and most don't even know it. Why? Because after age 60, your skin simply doesn't produce D3 from sunlight the way it used to, and if you live somewhere cloudy or avoid the sun out of concern for skin cancer, your chances of deficiency? Almost guaranteed. Vitamin D3 doesn't just support your bones, it also plays a vital role in muscle protein synthesis. In other words, if you're losing muscle, feeling weakness in your legs, or waking up with that deep, nagging calf pain at night, there's a strong chance your body simply doesn't have enough D3 to rebuild the muscle fibers that get worn down during the day. And here's something most people overlook. Nighttime is when your body truly hits the gym. While you sleep, and I mean truly sleep deeply, your body goes to work repairing muscles, rebuilding tissues, and calming inflammation. But if you don't have enough D3 in your bloodstream during those hours, that healing process gets interrupted. Muscles aren't rebuilt, inflammation doesn't settle, and by morning, you wake up with legs that feel just as tired, just as sore as the day before. So here's my advice, based on both research and decades of experience. Take your vitamin D3 in the evening, about 20 to 30 minutes before bed, and don't take it on an empty stomach. D3 is a fat-soluble vitamin. All you need is something small, a teaspoon of almond butter, a slice of cheese, or a few walnuts. Just enough healthy fat to help your body absorb it fully. A 2020 study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that seniors who took D3 at night lowered their risk of falling by up to 34% and improved leg strength by 19% in just 3 months. And these results, they didn't come from heavy workouts or strong medications. They came from timing and consistency every single night. You know what makes me think the most? It's how often we say to ourselves, well, I guess I'm just getting old. That's how it goes. But not everything that fades is because of age. Sometimes it's your body whispering, please, pay attention. I need a little care. I need to recover. I need to be nourished. And that nourishment, it doesn't have to come from anything complicated. You don't need machines, you don't need a gym membership, you don't need expensive medications. Just one small D3 tablet, a spoonful of healthy fat, and one simple decision. Place it next to your evening cup of tea. That's it. I won't promise you'll be running marathons again, but I've seen people like Gerald, after just 6 weeks of consistency, walk confidently back into their gardens. They're lifting flower pots, strolling with their grandkids, and waking up in the morning with this quiet joy. My legs feel like they belong to me again. Sometimes all your body needs is a chance and the right kind of help. It knows how to heal. So if tonight you're still tossing and turning with aching legs, just try one D3 tablet, a sip of water, a quiet moment before sleep. Let your body do what it was designed to do, to heal. There's one vitamin most seniors have heard of, but almost no one truly understands just how important it is for their legs. And that vitamin is B12. Now, if you've ever felt tingling in your feet, a sudden loss of balance when standing up, or even a strange zapping sensation running down your calf at night, you might already be hearing the quiet cry of your nerves. And do you know what they're saying? They're saying, "We're missing B12. Vitamin B12 isn't just a vegetarian's vitamin, as many folks still believe. It's the electric signal in your nervous system, the wire connecting your brain to your muscles. If vitamin D3 builds your muscle fibers, then B12 is the switch that turns them on. When your body runs low on B12, the first thing to break down isn't your bones, it's the signal from your brain to your legs. You start walking slower, but you don't know why. Your feet feel numb or asleep after sitting too long, and then one morning you stand up, and your knees don't listen anymore. Here's the part most people miss. After age 60, your stomach produces less acid, and you need that acid to extract B12 from the food you eat. So even if you're eating beef, salmon, or eggs every day, your body might still be starving for B12. According to the U.S. National Institutes of Health, over 40% of adults over 60 have low or borderline B12 levels, and most don't even know it. The symptoms creep in silently: numbness in your feet, pins and needles, muscle stiffness, trouble walking, higher risk of falling. Even worse, these signs are often mistaken for Parkinson's or diabetic nerve damage, but sometimes it's just a simple B12 deficiency, and when caught early, can be reversed. So, what should you do? The answer lies in methylcobalamin, a form of vitamin B12 that the aging body can absorb directly and without relying on digestion. It comes in a tiny sublingual tablet, no bigger than a mint, but don't let its size fool you. It's strong enough to spark healing. You simply let it melt slowly under your tongue, and your bloodstream will carry that B12 directly to your nervous system. And the best time to take it? Right before bed, because while you sleep, your nervous system powers down, switches off the lights, and closes the doors to begin its repair work. And if B12 is present at just the right moment, those weak, broken signals can start to reconnect. Like someone carefully rewiring an old electric cord, one strand at a time. I still remember one of my patients. Her name was Mary, 68 years old. She told me, "Doctor, I only walked around the house, but the next morning it felt like I had climbed a mountain." So we ran some tests, and sure enough, her vitamin B12 levels were critically low. 6 weeks later, after taking 1,000 micrograms of B12 every night, she wasn't just walking more steadily, she was also sleeping better, having fewer nighttime thigh cramps, and she told me, "It feels like my legs are coming back to me." Now, I'm not saying B12 is a miracle cure, but if your legs no longer respond like they used to, if you're feeling tingling, cramping, slight tremors, or you can't sleep because of that strange, restless feeling in your calves, don't ignore it. It may not just be old age. It might be your nervous system whispering to you, I need B12. So tonight, before you go to bed, take 30 seconds to place a tiny sublingual B12 tablet under your tongue. It won't change everything overnight, but 2 weeks from now, you just might wake up and step out of bed with legs that feel a little stronger, a little more alive. I used to think vitamin K was just the thing that helped blood clot, and maybe you've thought that too. But there's a special kind of K, called K2, that can completely change the way our legs hold us up after 60 inches. Something strange happens after we turn 60. Your body still absorbs calcium from milk, supplements, even vitamin D3, but the calcium starts going the wrong way. It no longer gets directed into your bones. Instead, it quietly builds up in your blood vessels, knee joints, and muscles. Your legs feel stiff, your knees click, and your calves. They feel like someone stretched rubber bands overnight. This process has a name, soft tissue calcification. But here's the surprising part. The problem isn't calcium. It's the lack of vitamin K2, the traffic controller your body needs to send calcium to the right places. K2 is like a traffic controller for calcium. It makes sure calcium goes where it's needed, into your bones, not your joints, to build bone strength, not harden your arteries, to support tissue repair, not pile up in your ligaments. And here's the most fascinating part. K2 isn't just the traffic cop, it's also a muscle activator. It switches on something called osteocalcin, a special protein that strengthens bones and boosts energy metabolism inside your muscles. In plain terms, K2 helps you stand stronger, feel less tired, move more smoothly, and bounce back faster after walking, standing, or even just a long day on your feet. I once cared for an uncle of mine, 74 years old. He walked slowly, and every time he stood up from a chair, his knees made that familiar cracking sound, like something old and worn. We ran his labs, his vitamin D3, normal, B12, also fine. But his K2 levels, almost zero, so we started a simple nightly routine. One small dose of K2 in the MK7 form, taken just before bed, alongside his D3. 8 weeks later, he walked into my office grinning. "Doc, I climbed the stairs today," without grabbing the handrail. If you're already taking vitamin D3, then K2 is the missing puzzle piece. Just 100 to 200 micrograms of MK7 each night is all it takes. You can pair it with a small piece of cheese, a few almonds, or even a glass of unsweetened nut milk. That's enough to support proper absorption. And the best part, K2 won't keep you awake, won't spike your blood pressure, and is generally safe for those with diabetes or on blood thinners, of course, with your doctor's approval. You see, D, 3 builds, B12 connects, K2 guides. 3 vitamins, 3 keys, 3 quiet messages your body has been whispering every night after 60. Not loud, not asking for miracles, just asking you to begin, quietly, consistently, night after night. And in doing so, you're giving your legs a second chance, a chance to stand strong, to keep moving forward, to live actively, not just endure aging. Tonight you can choose to begin, a sublingual B12 under your tongue, a D3 and K2 capsule with a few almonds, a sip of warm water, and a silent promise to yourself, I will care for these legs, so they can carry me through many more years ahead.